Ah, gosh. We are gathered again. Family and what you want to call it in Old Talk.
Historians.
Historians. Episode number, this is what, 33, right?
33.
Yeah. We're on 33. It's been 33 weeks. Hello. How are you, Crystal?
Hi, good.
All right. So, we have a very interesting guest tonight. She comes all the way from Edmonton.
Alberta, Canada, yes.
All right. Sorry, I was going the wrong place.
No, Edmonton is a city. Alberta is a province.
You tell me the girl was coming from was from like Drake ex-girlfriend or somewhere that I've been lied to.
Oh,
I was lied to, guys.
pressure.
I came here expecting champagne, mommy, or something like that. No. I want more questions. I'll just toast them how they
Where's your beginning? Where's your opening quote for the whole group?
Well, no, I had to change it.
Shit. Don't worry. Let the
Upset, guys.
the creative juices flow. Run.
Hee-haw. Any podcast are fully into thinking you're going to get somebody child mother so you can marry them to get people off the child for. Anyway, let me just go into it.
So you was expecting that degenerate wounded
No,
dog.
I was expecting something. I see a red girl. I was like, okay. I mean, you know.
How your day was?
Upsetting, no.
How was your day? No, not talking about now.
Boy, I take a day walk for the day. I don't know how these poor people do that every day, you know.
Brother.
Boy, mixing concrete. I mix concrete for a day. It was Jesus Christ.
All right.
You ever worked CPAP before?
No.
You try it one day, you would understand and value life a little bit more.
So Crystal, how was your day? How was life?
Good. It was productive.
All right. So you're here for the carnival season.
Yeah, well, I here for a month past Carnival, but yes.
You come to get a green card though.
Oh, wait. So she aka looking to get your groove back like Stella?
No.
Oh, she has her groove back like Stella.
I never lost my groove. Thank you very
Unlike
much.
Stella.
Unlike Stella.
Poor Stella. There's a poor Stella name. She didn't really do anybody anything. So you've been anywhere for the carnival thus far. How was the
Just fun.
vibe? How do you think this country is doing on our entertainment? Blast to the world.
So far, it was fun. It was cool. I mean, the production is always there. You know.
Dog.
The production.
I
Well,
don't
the
know.
quality of the production.
Is pan.
Well, you know.
Pan has always been.
Well, I was talking to Akiva about this. Like,
Mm.
you go to events outside of Trinidad, and this has been my experience. I took the last couple of years to go to other places that doing these what I call faux carnivals, right? So where they try to copy our blueprints and charging Trinidad dollars for Trinidad prices for lower quality I find productions.
This would be the
Right.
Miami DC events.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is probably the best one. This is the Caribana
Oh, God.
in Toronto. This is the St. Lucia Carnival. This is the, Jamaica Carnival. I find like, I'll use St. Lucia as an example.
Mm.
When I went to St. Lucia Carnival, tickets were for almost everything was over 130 US for almost every party. But you get there and Ciroc is considered premium. You gotta buy that separate. Johnny is considered premium. You gotta pay for that separate.
So what
So
premium?
included is things like
So if
Stoli
that's
vodka.
premium,
So what is premium?
No,
So-
if that is premium, was the waste rum?
Right. So vodka, for example, was Stoli.
Huh.
Right. That's our Sky vodka.
Aye.
Right. Like, and the thing is, like, I'm not big on drinking, but they trying to promote themselves like you're getting a Trinidad quality production, and you're not, right? You get there, you have to pay more for additional alcohol. The place is not as well. Like when you come to Trinidad stuff, you're seeing, something simple like tents that covered. Right?
She don't like jab, man. That's what she said.
Right? You get there. Well,
She
for
has post-
130 US,
Nah.
I expecting at the very least
Mm.
to walk into a venue that looks a certain way, that is set up a
Infrastructure.
certain way,
The decor.
The decor.
and you're looking for a certain level of, you're looking for, the stage, at least your sound is good, all of that stuff,
A
right?
stage that you
Like
could actually look up
you
at.
could actually look up, like
Uh,
just things that we just take for granted because we're accustomed to.
Wait till they go
Yeah.
mud mass in Haiti. It's not like our thing. It's just like a lot.
You win the mud mass in
Don't worry where I went.
No, but serious, that's a thing.
Like, no, it's not mud mass. It's called. I forget what it's called, but it's
Some
like
voodoo ritual.
that's the problem. They have a very huge stigma against that, but it's like basically like a river kind of waterfall. It real wet. It's like a water party.
It's
But
like Wakanda when T'Challa was dancing and
You know-
before he fight.
matter of fact, it kind of did look like that, except it was like way more wassy.
That
You ever went to
is-
Haiti?
No,
Yeah,
but
but-
now is not the time to go to Haiti.
Just offer.
Is there ever a time to go to Haiti?
Well, there
Why-
was a time.
why you
to go
can't-
to
why-
Haiti. It's not now.
Why you can't go Haiti, no?
Because Haiti is on another level right now. I actually do work for the ICC, International Criminal Court, and right now, then our project is investigating
Okay.
barbecue in Haiti.
So,
Barbecue.
That's
So,
his name.
ladies and gentlemen,
Mhm.
Crystal is a very well established
Yes.
legal. Where is called that?
Well, in Canada, we call it solicitor and barrister.
She's
but
a
really,
barrister.
just a lawyer
Solicitor.
and barrister.
Yeah.
Oh, because down here, solicitor is.
Listen.
Down here,
No, that's
solicitor.
the thing.
Yeah, that's how the first thing entirely. I was like, okay.
yeah. All right. So
High price is what I'm
So
saying.
for the context of the conversation, anything that she says legally, she know what she's talking about. You know, half of it is a set of bush lawyers who's taking every fucking thing.
No. Oh, yeah, because I have a few questions.
The statisticians on them now, boy.
No, a few questions. Because I read an article. Bestiality. Legal in Canada, no?
Bestiality is illegal.
No, something like once it's not penetration. Like it have an article. I read that. Once it's not penetration.
No, you can't.
You sure that's not like some
No, like it was a. Like, if I pull it up, no. That's why you should Google.
Yeah.
When I was like,
So
yeah,
they
but
encourage any animal sex.
well, you can't have sex with them, but you could like kiss them and stuff, or like once you don't put like your organ in their organ.
Well,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So you can abuse the animals.
I'm not making this up.
no. Bestiality, the definition of it typically is if you have like sexual intercourse with an
Yeah.
animal. So that what he's trying to do there is basically say if you don't meet the definition of sexual intercourse, then you don't meet the definition of bestiality.
Exactly. You can use your
Right.
mouth. Like
So
what fellas do now.
lesbian sex with the animals on them.
You could scissor with the goat. Oh, that's the name of the episode.
Scissor with the goat.
Scissor with the goat.
Yeah, that's because there isn't like a general sexual assault charge for animals. So bestiality has to meet the definition. Whereas with humans, there is a more generalized
This
sexual.
is
There's sexual
crazy.
touching. There's invitation to touch. This is with a minor. There's about 8 different
So-
types of sexual assault charges you could get if it's with a human, right, or a minor, as opposed to with animals, they just have the one charge.
And there's a lot of
So if you don't meet the definition,
Yeah,
the charge is in there.
That's crazy. But the world getting lonelier too, so I guess they're probably opening up the parameters for physical touch. I was reading an article today that the world is touch starved or touch sensitive,
Yeah.
and people losing their minds off for not being able to touch because of this phone interface that becomes naturally humans have a fear of rejection. And when we get rejected, more so men, we try to figure out ways. We write poems. We would do some random strange act to not really experience the devastating effects of just walking up to a woman and saying, "Hey, I like you. I want to meet you." You know.
Mhm.
So with the phone now, we kind of make it a little easier
Right.
for people to be. I mean, let me just shoot my shot with a little DM.
CBC.
What's this here? Reuters.
Right there. Most sexual acts.
Yeah.
I know I'm not making this up.
Holy shit!
Let me see.
Not making this up.
It's loading.
Not making this up. I used
So I thought Carpi Chaiman thing was in charge of the race.
so
When I say Carpi Chaiman, oh God, Blanca. Like,
yeah, she's
Yeah, because what it is basically,
where is it?
you have to meet the definition.
You see
right?
how people has start the conversation not believing what I say. And I was like, I crazy.
I
coming
didn't,
off
I
the top
didn't
rope.
not believe what you were saying. I was like, wow, that is crazy that they actually doing it more than the people in certain parts of this country. You know?
No, well, it just not gonna be legal. And I told her girl this years ago, and she didn't believe me. And
So that coming up, the same coming up.
it
the
was
same
legal in
road as,
Rome, and we going back straight to Rome.
Wait,
So
call
that
this one?
crossroads.
the pedophilia.
Yeah,
that
that's gonna be
one
legal. That's gonna be
Yeah.
legal next.
So that doesn't. So basically, it's exactly what I said, right? So bestiality, sexual intercourse, it's only one charge. There isn't like a plethora of charges like what they have
When she uses
for
big words.
humans with sexual assault, right? So for example, sexual touching is a charge, right? You don't actually have to have intercourse,
God
right?
damn it.
Whereas that bestiality, the definition, there's only one
Intercourse.
there's
with
only
an
one
animal.
charge, right? So because it says that, the argument is that you don't meet the definition if you do anything outside of that, right? Now, the Crown prosecutor in that article that he's talking about is arguing that all sexual acts is considered bestiality, right? But the problem is when the criminal code was written, that's what they wrote it for, right? They wrote it just to deal with people who trying to commit.
So
just having sex with animals.
well, then
Just like everything else, laws evolved when it came to people, but not with animals, right? So, for example, invitation to touch, for example, with a minor, that didn't exist before. That only came about because somebody got charged. They changed legislation to include, okay, if you're inviting a minor to commit sexual acts on you, we need to create a charge.
Where are the foremost animal experts in the legal?
we really going down this road today. Okay, let's go.
we good. Yeah, where are the foremost animal experts when it comes to making of these laws? Like nobody pushing back.
Legislation comes. It's a cycle, right? Legislation comes from circumstances, right? So you need the situation to happen, a judge to have to hear it, make a decision on it, right? Now, federal in Canada, unlike Trinidad, you have federal court and then you have provincial courts, right? The criminal code is federal.
So that's like the magistrate versus the high court. High court versus magistrate court.
Trinidad doesn't have the
That system.
division of government, that system at all, because we don't have separate governments for separate. Like Port of Spain don't have a separate government from San Fernando,
Understood.
right? But in Canada, every province has their own government. But luckily, criminal law is federalized, right? So the criminal code is, so in this particular case, it was a provincial argument, right? They were arguing this provincially, but the legislature has to draft new legislation federally. So if, for example, Alberta, that does a lot of cattle farming, if all of a sudden people were no longer interested in having sexual intercourse with their cattle and now they just wanted to kiss their cattle and that became a rampant thing, that will bring red flag in Alberta, and the government, a judge will have to make a determination. This person will get acquitted because it doesn't meet the definition, and then the federal government will have to be like, well, I guess it's something we need to deal with now. We need to draft legislation to address the fact that now these people no longer want to have intercourse with their cattle, they want to just caress them or whatever it is, right? So that's how legislation changes. So you could imagine that happens so rarely that the legislation on people changed faster, which is why we have so many more like criminal code sections when it comes to humans than for animals, right?
I just wanted to know
so the 3/5 of the animal thing, would that be for slavery too? Like how people was considered cattle at one point?
At one point,
So that would not be bestiality.
Except the criminal code wouldn't have addressed that then because slavery was legal.
No, but bestiality would still be a thing. You understand what I'm saying? If you have sex with your slave,
but remember they were considered chattel, not necessarily animals. They were just considered things. You could do whatever you want with your property. So, for example,
some form of livestock.
Yeah, you could burn it if you want, right? Because back then the criminal code didn't address like animal abuse, for example, right? And humans were considered chattel. So if you could, arson wasn't there either. So if you could burn if you could burn a structure on your property, you could burn your
Had I get his gill and retainer, clearly. Yeah. Has been a lot of legal issues.
People were not considered, slaves were not considered humans, right? They were considered chattel. Not cattle, chattel.
You see, black people in the wrong talkers because one each changed the entire dialogue.
So she said, I think it's cattle, but use cattle.
Chattel. No, it's a difference. It's a difference.
It's always have to say for the people in the back. It's chattel.
With a CH.
CH, not cattle.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, because
you off the bestiality.
Yeah, we start off real wild.
And slaves as chattel.
We start off real wild.
Slaves and animal effing.
And this was just based on the fact that, the culture that we are accustomed to as Trinidadians, like, we really have such a strange culture. Last night I was observing people by, like, just how they move. And sometimes we try to think we're so much better than everybody else, but we are in the herd mentality, just like
cattle.
Yeah, like a chattel.
As opposed to chattel.
Become chattel.
Yeah. Well, okay, I asked my last night. Well, I almost got stabbed last night, so that was nice. Men are fighting for prostitutes now, guys. This is wild.
You getting a scrape over a prostitute?
No. I got in a scrape with standing up by myself on a wall, and a guy spoke to a girl. And they wanted to fight, and I was like, with the guy. That was it.
This was no provocation from before.
No, the girl was watching me because Some of them is when I cut my hair, I get weaves. Sometimes, not all times. Like how you have always have hair like that. Sometimes if I cut my hair, I look good looking. Sometimes, not all times.
So the
Last night.
So she was watching you.
So I was like, hey, but she was around 5 or 6 Spaniards. Because I don't want to say the next word I want to say.
Latin America.
Nah, I want to say a word starts with S. It's not Spaniards. It's like
You want me to say it?
it's like the N-word version of it because I'm angry. Anyway.
All right, go ahead.
So I was like, and I'm gonna talk to that kid. She surrounded like, imagine you are on, you dancing, looking pretty, whatever, and nails done, hair did, everything did. Some other man pay for it probably. These men sharing one bay for them with the girl. And then she said, so she watching me.
There's something like water.
You know, right? No, it was hell. It was hell. I had to stop going in these Grammy spots. Anyway, at the end of it, he come up. This is my esposa. So you say esposa.
Oh, God.
You say esposa. And I was like, that's not your wife. Come on. She can't be watching our next man like that in the club. This is crazy. And I talk about all of this to segue into
What?
like marriage law, that kind of stuff.
So yeah.
That was the segment to family law.
We know the family law is like, yeah, these niggas is crazy. These Spanish speaking niggas is crazy.
I think that's the Latin American culture, you know, like
Yeah.
they share a lot.
The guy, my friend is like 7 feet 2.
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't eat.
yeah.
And the guy is my size, shorter than me, and he has the bravado to pull his girl, get up in the man's face, and about to start World War IV. We would have
World War IV for a whole.
World War IV for a whore. That's not gonna be the name of it. I like Caesar for this. It's really good.
We tried
We'll go World War IV for the whore.
World War IV for a whole. You think about it. Yeah.
So I want to get married to a Spanish girl, but she wants to give me $10,000 for my papers now. My question is, how do I get out of it while not giving her my papers, but not giving her the ownership of the shit I'm going to inherit from my parents, etc. You know, men getting take for
Yeah. I mean, you know.
It's going to be tell you a segue. We going.
A simple prenup will do that. I mean,
That'll work down here.
yeah, is a
that's what
contract
you
law
do.
applies though.
She don't
Does the
speak-
contract law apply down
She
here?
don't speak English.
Yeah. Well, get a translator, do it in Spanish and
You
English,
can
sign both.
you can speak
Independent legal advice for both of them.
Yeah, they call you Sina Gonzalez or somebody.
You
It's
speak
a
Spanish.
official translator. I don't speak Spanish fluently. I mean, I know enough to
Oh yeah, French.
Yeah.
Speaking
around,
of which, this is a by the way topic. You all remember that woman named Yesenia Gonzalez?
She died.
No,
Oh.
she alive still, but I hope she's alive still. You remember that lady?
no.
Every time Trinidad and Tobago would have experienced some natural disaster, there would be this woman on TTT who would come and predict that Trinidad would be safe or we would end up in some shit, and she's always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the representative for the Venezuelan people down here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a wild.
it's over.
Yes.
It's a wrap for them.
Like for the refugees?
Like for all, well, Trinidad,
Because,
we don't consider these Venezuelans.
Well,
wrong.
Trinidad is a Hague Convention signatory, though. So aren't we taking these people? I mean, I didn't really look into it, but isn't
Let
Trinidad
me
taking these people
tell
under
you.
refugee status?
Let me tell you.
Is this the smarter of the Wilson twins we get here? So
Let me tell you. Though that might be true,
Uh-huh.
Trinidadians are going to Venezuela
Uh-huh.
to purchase them to come back.
Well, if you talk about human trafficking, that's a
Yeah,
different
that's-
story.
Human trafficking and
Okay.
bad.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, the worst night better than slavery. Come on. That guy
you see?
died, by the way. He just died.
Hey.
Rest in peace. All the airport racket men.
Is that the
Getting
man who
killed.
wrote Royal Castle?
You know, that's the airport racket guy. One of the guys.
Ish Galbransing.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Fact check for my night. I think
Allegedly.
he owns Royal Castle.
Yeah, he died today. I was supposed to talk about that later.
Died from what?
Old age.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you crack that 90.
So hi all, this is Cheryl.
That's
Ish's
his wife.
wife.
That's our fault.
I am deeply saddened to announce the passing of my beloved husband, Ish Galbransing, who passed away peacefully today after a 4-year fight with cancer.
Oh, cancer.
Damn.
Yeah. You all know him as a fighter, but the battle ended today. Okay. Well, rest in peace, Ish Galbransing.
But yeah,
He wasn't a...
yeah, he allegedly, because I'm still in court case and things like that. You know, lawyers is stringed out.
That's
Well-
still going on.
I don't know. But yeah,
Oh, yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Back to you now with this prenup.
Yeah, so I mean, prenups may not be enforceable in Trinidad because they don't sort of recognize the actual prenup. But what I am saying is, don't call it a prenup. Do it just like a contract, right? And have her. I mean, you might have to try to see if it will be upheld. But what I think you should do is contract out of whatever it is that you think you might inherit, right, with her. So say the contract is that, I marry you, etc., but you're not entitled to X, Y, and Z, which is effectively a prenup, right? The issue, I guess, what y'all are saying, which I don't know Trinidad law for sure, but y'all basically saying that it will still be viewed as a prenup and it wouldn't be enforceable.
No,
I don't
but
know. I think,
prenups in the
I think the
States-
principles of contract law applies, right?
Okay.
You have a understanding, right? You have consideration, and I mean, I guess the only problem you'll have is from the immigration perspective, because if you have this contract signed, then they're going to say, well, your marriage is invalid. All right. And so that's kind of but do you reveal the contract after the immigration
After
process
the
is
papers go
completed?
through.
Right? Can immigration revoke it once they find out that you had a subsequent contract?
Most likely. That's why I say in a ticklish situation.
Yeah.
When I say me, I'm talking for third party.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the concept of marriage of convenience and all of that, like what we have in Canada under immigration law, is
Oh, so you could do that in Canada?
no. So what happens is but we have valid prenups too, right? Prenups are validated. So if you have a marriage of convenience, immigration can come and like pull whatever PR status that they gave to the person who just got married to the other person out of convenience, right? However, you could marry somebody and do a prenup simultaneously, and that doesn't make it a marriage of convenience. You could still be getting married legitimately. You're just trying to secure your assets that you own prior to that person, which is normal in Canada. In fact, even if you don't have a prenup, there's certain valuations that are done upon divorce where you still get to keep quite a bit of what you owned before, even if you didn't have a prenup.
What are grounds for losing your it's called an inheritance, right?
So in Canada, inheritances are considered exempt assets.
Good stuff.
So it's an exemption from your division. So as long as you kept it separate and apart, you're good. The problem is a lot of people, when they get married, they rule it into things. So for example, if you inherit a house and then you made that house your matrimonial home, you've now made it a joint family venture. So you've now ruled it into, that's like a business principle that applies to family law, right? So now it's a joint family venture. You've now ruled it into part of your family assets. So you did that by actively bringing it in and making it into your matrimonial home. But ways to avoid that is to, for example, never put the person on title, right? So you could say the intention was to never really make it a matrimonial asset. So what happens when you do that is the formula for Canada, I guess, doesn't exist in Trinidad. But what they do is you lose 50% of it off the hop because it goes into the matrimonial pool, but then you keep 50%. And then when the matrimonial pool is split, you get 50% of that 50%. So in the end, you end up with 75%. The person gets 25%.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So I always kick the bitch out my house. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, as well?
I always kick the bitch out my house. How'd I kick her out the house? It's my house. She inside. We had sex a few times. Okay, whatever. She have one or two mature and I'm maturing to get. She's sticking me for half. Trying to get out.
I think in the example that you've given me, you basically have created a family and you just want to have the girl gone with no money. You're not going to get away with that.
Would look any much.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going to get away with that in Canada or in Trinidad.
God damn it, fellas. I tried to ask for it. I was trying to get the sauce here.
Simply put, once a man creates a family or establishes any form of familial activity with a woman, he basically puts himself. He becomes in the bracket of you have to take care of this woman.
Not take care necessarily. It depends on who. This all goes back to the fundamentals. It depends on who you pick, right? If you pick somebody who contributes nothing, right,
my God.
then you put yourself in that position. It doesn't really matter. What people need to start doing is to really understand these concepts. You need to look at marriage like a business, right? If you looked at it that way, you'd understand. If you teamed up with a business partner who brought nothing to your business, no capital, nothing, when the business grows and does well, the fact that they were there is going to make them entitled to 50% of the business, right? Because they were there theoretically, physically, and you can't delineate what their role was or whatever.
In whichever way.
So that's what it is. But if you marry somebody who brings it doesn't have to be equal to, but who brings something to the table, right? Then you wouldn't have an issue, right? And that's the bottom line. People need to stop dating or marrying or having children with people who they had to mind to get them and then be pissed off that when they divorce, they still have to mind them. You made that decision.
That's some
stuff.
Minding these hoes.
So you lead with your wallet and you lose in the end.
Well, you lead with your wallet, and then this is what pisses me off about these men. You lead with your wallet, You got what it is you wanted from leading with your wallet.
Which was the pumps.
And then at the end, you expect us as lawyers to fix your bad decisions of 15, 20 years. No.
You know noticing a similar thread to like
So the red pill is dead?
The Fathers Association say the same thing.
Yeah.
Lawyers say the same thing. Like
So
men
we-
just sign themselves up to bullshit
Yeah.
and then come and be like, help me now.
Help me.
So it don't matter how good it was in terms of how she look, whoever do it, unless she bringing something to the table. But what is an asset a girl can bring to the
You
table?
know what? Sometimes potential is an asset.
Right?
If
Potential
somebody,
is
if
a
you,
risky
like, so
business,
let's
man.
say this young lady doesn't particularly have an established anything, right? She don't have a career, she don't have established business or whatever, but she's good at something, right? She's really good at nails, let's say.
You know,
Right?
you know what I forgot about this? I wasn't going to mention the
Or
nails.
lashes.
I swear to God, I wasn't going to mention the nails.
Yeah.
And she mentioned the nails. Because that's like the only thing.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Nails, lashes, these are things that you can run in your household. If you help the person become self-sufficient and build that, right? That potential, you know, it could get you, in the end, could get you out of it. It'll get you out of not necessarily having to, you know, give 50% or pay spousal support or, you know, you still have to pay child support.
Oh, okay, and this is a shot I see our men doing now. So the shot is we pay, instead of paying that, could I now fund a third party in terms of, okay, say I'm married to you, me and you married. You piss him off, you bring nothing to the table, blah, 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 trying to get it. It's like, this bitch is sucking my dry. Can I now just pay a gigolo, Mr. Bazie here? Hey, Bazie, I'm going to pay her $5,000. Sleep with her. And I can say, look, you know, she bullying this man.
Oh, you're talking about like a
Like,
stick operation?
Yeah, can I say? Is that because that's a thing now? That's a thing. I mean, lawyers are fixing. So I don't know.
So I guess what you're trying to say is Trinidad is considered like a fault state, like in the States. So if somebody cheated, then they're not entitled to anything.
I don't know.
Okay.
We have no idea.
I don't think
about-
so either. But I think it's like Canada, which is no fault. Canada is federally no fault, right? The state is
Jesus
different.
Christ.
Every state is fault or no fault. So California, for example, is a fault state.
Because I see people crying outside the house and thing, you know, and like the Honor man inside and thing.
Oh no, I saw that this weekend. This weekend was wild. I saw everything I needed to see in this country to make me want to marry a white woman for people.
Honor man getting
And I need to get the fuck out. It's scary.
Dodge getting a little hairy.
Yeah, dodge. And I get stabbed and I get shoot. And I see a man crying.
That'll work out well.
All unrelated events.
I would be surprised if Trinidad holds it against anybody for cheating. Like, because it's such common in our culture. I can't see that as being a reason
I mean,
to not be entitled
it's
to matrimonial assets.
So women should stay with
That's
the man
not
if they get home. Good
My
stuff.
understanding.
well, all right. So we
stuff.
really don't know about Trinidad, but we try to get to the root of the problem, right? This is a situation where real men are gonna be able to actually get the woman that you suggested, the right woman for you.
Well, then build up.
How sweet.
There was
How
something they
sweet.
good at. There's something besides being attractive and like.
How? Give me the answers. You don't have the answers.
you know how difficult it is for a young man to be perusing the internet, right? And
Well, that's your problem. Why are you perusing the internet?
that's what they tell them
That's
to
what,
do.
I'm 16 years old. That's all there
Yeah,
is. Peruse
right?
the internet.
And he will bounce up on Andrew Tate, right?
You know Andrew Tate is?
Yes.
Okay.
And when he bounces up on Andrew Tate now, Tate telling him, hey,
She don't like
macho
red
man,
men.
Bugatti, everything. You can be the superhero of your life, right? And then we bounce up somebody like Homat, who's actually
Home
makes...
math. Yes, I came maths. Math.
Yeah.
Math.
Oh, sorry.
Home
That's
math.
the proletariat in me. I'm so
Yes.
apologizing for my enunciation.
Yeah.
All right, so the whole math guy now, he comes with logic. He comes with saying, hey, there are men on this level, and you don't exist with women as long as you're here.
Because it's a non-existent caliber, man. You know
Alright.
that. You
Alright.
like skinny
That's
enough to know
fair.
that. You like skinny enough to know that.
Right? So
Like
when
speaking
you
of that.
hear women speak and you are here, they are not speaking to you.
All right.
Do not listen to them.
Right.
Right? That's basically what his message is.
It's
Right?
okay, let me ask you something. This is a good one.
I find it okay. Before you get into your question,
Oh, God.
I just find it difficult to believe that the plight of men in Trinidad is so tough.
Yes, now, you know where the real it?
when
Talk your grease. Talk your
I
shit.
just feel like, first of all, it have more women than men in Trinidad. So you all have a higher.
Hey,
We
Ma'am.
can have
The
52,
ratio.
Ma'am,
48.
this is
somewhere.
not Canada. You know, in Canada, I could be a complete scrub and still get the best looking chick. This
Well,
ain't Canada.
No.
This
But-
ain't Canada.
No, but I just feel like I don't know. Maybe it's because I went holiday or whatever, but I feel like it have plenty.
Hey, don't jump there. I'm going there. Yeah. Goodbye, guys.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Sorry, I can't no longer do this.
I just feel like it have plenty high caliber women
Uh-huh.
that are available.
Where?
Men just don't want to put in the
Where?
work
In Trinidad?
to be able to, like you saying, you automatically can't talk to this particular group.
Ma'am, I'm approaching your car with a window washer and say, hey, what, Reds? You're looking nice. I like your smiley eyebrows. Your brown eyes, whatever. I can't afford to take you out to get my good restaurant.
Buzo.
I can't take it to Buzo, but I can take it to Sauce. I could afford a total of 3. I have to share the 3 between me and a solo. You get most of the solo.
You buy a straw. Well, you take a straw.
You get a straw. Yeah, that's not. And if you're ready, taking 5, we could drink from the same straw. I think we
But
can make
shouldn't
this
that
work.
be motivation to like move yourself then?
No, because when I get here, go on hypergamize on man, get a richer guy. You'll probably try to build me. You see how I looking, give my little muscles, thing, whatever. And I built you. I did this for you.
Back up on them, dog. Pause.
Oh,
So just thought I was getting.
She
I
like in
just
the
find this,
show.
okay, so what is the ratio then of women to men in Trinidad?
Okay, so we almost equal. Right?
You say
In
this
terms
one
of
to
the
one?
dating population.
Alright.
Almost.
Okay.
Right? Almost there. But the thing about it is, right? Gosh, we promise ourselves never to come back to this point, but we have to come back here. Pause again. A lot of the narrative that's out there on the internet, we don't analyze it properly enough
Okay.
as a populace, right? So somebody will hear 80-20.
Oh, Pareto distribution.
Yeah, the Pareto distribution, right? And they will go, well, boy, 80% of the women, fucking 20% of the men. And that's not what.
Yeah, how much? 80% because of you let drive in your vehicle, Mr. Lawyer. How much bombs have you picked up?
Well, I am single, so I don't pick up no bums.
All right.
You gotta be safe
Okay,
in
so
the streets.
you know what? So the Pareto distribution thing is that effect.
Hate
Because
this.
what they're really saying is that due to that's Dr. Jerry David Boss who came up with this. That's Dr. David Boss who came up with this whole evolutionary psychology thing.
Right.
Not to go too far into that. But he's basically saying that women, through the advent of social media, through the advent of easier ways of communication, they all look for this figurehead or this stereotype of a man, right? That excludes probably 80% of men because what he's basically saying is that women find 80% of the men unattractive.
Okay.
But men not doing that?
No, wait. We have to prove it now with our stupid anecdotes. Let's hear your list of qualifications that a male needs to receive courtship from you.
To be a gentleman.
To be a gentleman.
My list is actually not long. You have to. This is gonna sound real cheesy, but you
ahead.
have to be able to stimulate me.
Are you
Intellectually.
a sapiosexual? Are you leaving if she says yes?
No, don't leave. Chain yourself to the chip. No. Okay,
So good conversation. You have to make me laugh. You have to be driven. I don't really care what your occupation is as long as you're constantly moving forward because I can't be static. So you can't be static. And then,
all right.
to be honest, that's really it because everything else will come if you do that.
So how much fellas beneath your social station have you actually picked up
But
on?
I don't measure like that. I don't be like, well, I'm a lawyer, so I'm not dating anybody.
You
who's
know
not
what
a
the
lawyer.
metric is?
Right.
The metric is when she says driven.
Yeah.
Driving at what speed, Crystal? Is the question.
My speed.
So it has to be driving at your speed or faster.
Or faster. Yes.
That is the
Correct.
metric.
So I'm a janitor. You are a lawyer, so I must be moving at light speed.
Yeah, you must have
I have to be a
janitorial
CEO
company.
No, but yeah, you have a plan to
Like, case
to
in
own
point.
the company or expand or something or start a business. You
Yeah.
can't just your plan can't just be cleaning toilets
Honestly.
your whole life.
It's
That's-
why if you
that's
have
not
the
enough.
option, guys, always go for straight hair, not curly. I know.
She knows what, but that's
She
the-
knows what I'm saying.
So there's the thing, right? And you know, like women, there's a natural thing with women. Women don't want men who are less driven than them because there's like
So you want to get mine? You're looking to get mine? Too?
No, I know myself. I cannot be static. So if you are, I will move past you.
and
And
then
eventually
that
move
would
on.
cause a rift.
And it doesn't mean necessarily just in what career, what you're doing, It could be, okay, so for example, if I date somebody who earns less and doesn't have a career,
Which is most
right?
men.
You have to be doing other things then, so at least I see that you're moving, right?
Things
So-
like what?
You see what you just said there, Crystal? What it did was exclude already 40%, 50%.
We going up to the 80 just now.
Okay, but my issue with that though is that I cannot hold myself back because you are a certain way.
Oh, no,
Then
no,
that
no.
just means we don't match.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I'm going to move. I'm not saying, okay, so for example, I'm a lawyer, right? But I don't want to be a judge. So I appreciate that a lot of people assume every lawyer, the next step means they want to be a judge. No, I want to eventually teach. I eventually want to be a 10-year professor in law, right? So at some point I'll do a PhD and whatever and I'll teach. But I don't ever want to be a judge. I don't want to be a judge because I don't want the role of making the
So
decisions.
you're gonna be the how to get away to murder lady.
Yes.
Was
Well,
that
I like
Viola?
arguing, but I don't like being the decision maker. I don't like drafting legislation. I don't like any of that.
Is the
right?
light skin in here? If you're
So-
darker, trust me, I like arguing way more than you're praying out to be. Is
So
he light skin?
I don't have that need to be in that position of power where I dictate to people, this is the decision that I'm handing down to you. I actually innately don't have that need, even though I'm in the profession, to potentially achieve that. So I don't see you not wanting to take the path that everybody says is the next step as a reason not to date you,
Oh,
right?
so you want
But,
do you want to rap?
but you have to be wanting something for yourself.
Okay, I have a promising rap career. My mixtape just launched. Not a Red Man Volume 1. Get it on iCloud.
That's all right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, another Red Man Volume 1. Get it on iCloud or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
So question.
it's all right.
So what's the question?
So clearly, I'm a Trinidad rapper.
Uh-huh.
I am highly motivated. I will ask him.
Why you say Trinidad like that?
No,
though?
shut up.
Why is it like
Let
that?
me go.
Because Trinidad rap is an oxymoron, apparently.
I didn't know.
Hey, we know some, but
Hey,
I know why
hey.
you said it. Huh?
Eye contact. Don't try to put words in my mouth there, prof. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm a Trinidad rapper. I'm in the arts basket. I'm in the studio all the time. How much some of these songs you heard I
This
produce?
is hypothetical or this is true?
Listen,
Okay.
hyper truth. Hyper truth. Let's just
Yeah.
see it. I'm making beats all the time. I'm in the studio. I record. I have like 90 million songs right at this point in time.
All right.
I'm like the greatest rapper ever.
You're making 17 songs a day.
Yeah, 17 songs a day. I just came. That's why I was like tired. I'm tired right now. Spitting them bars. Anyway. But you meet me and I don't already have any play. I'm like, how am I supposed to? I showing I'm motivated. This is what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
This is what my destiny calls for.
Right.
After mix concrete to do it. And I'm
Right.
asking you for a cent.
Right. Okay. So I guess my question would be, who do we need to contact or what network do we need to get
Use the
infiltrate?
lawyer. Use what
get-
you want to make it happen for me.
And no.
Come on, give me a
you
groove
have to,
back.
but you have to contribute to it.
I
Right?
contribute
You have
to
to do the research. I will help you, but you have to. It's your field. It's your industry. It's not my field. I'm not an entertainment lawyer. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
need to
There's no
make
hand
the
to help you,
effort.
no Jack.
and look into it and let me know.
Hand up here.
I need to link with whoever to market me properly or whatever it is. Like whatever somebody wants to do, I am happy to support it and help them propel forward. But I can't be more motivated than you.
Okay, so and this is a real open-ended question. How many wins or losses should a man really suffer in front of his woman before she says, you know what, this man technically, I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think it's a number, but I think there gets to a point where you need to recognize whether or not you have a bunch of pie in the sky dreams or whether or not you're actually implementing a plan.
Hey, 3 people came to my open mic show last week. You were one.
Yeah, well, I know.
You were one. So I have 3 people. So my audience right now is 2.
So we counting, right? Because you already exclude like 60% of men.
That's unfortunate though.
by
You
the
did tell me
metrics of
60% of the
conversation.
population
Wants to be rappers, yeah.
is unmotivated.
Metaphorically.
That's why they are. That's why they are in who houses smoking weed or on some kind of apparently cocaine, making a big comeback in Trinidad. This is
Yeah,
wild.
we had
So
it back
be
to
it.
the 70s. Hey, maybe
80s.
maybe you'll get oil boom.
Hey,
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
We can get the experience with our parents.
Finally.
Make sure and with a set of girl and don't mind them.
Christ. Yeah, so you already excluded 60% of the general male population who are able to have interactions with females.
I just gonna throw a little fact in here.
Oh,
Just so
Fact
that you'll
already.
get like some context of where I come from. I have actually never dated a lawyer and have no intention of dating a lawyer.
have you dated a
I've never
rapper?
dated a doctor, I have no intention of dating a doctor. So as a educated person with multiple degrees, I am not going after people who are educated with multiple degrees. The people I have dated have been heavy duty mechanics, oil field,
Okay.
insurance,
Okay.
regular
Blue
stuff,
collar,
but
blue
have a
collar
side, but
guys.
have a side business.
You're still looking for somebody to go there and shoot the wolf and bring him back.
Or somebody who is like, this is the field that I'm in. Yeah, I didn't have the ability to be formally educated, or I didn't have
I'm not
a
too
silver
bright.
spoon in my mouth, or I didn't have whatever. My parents were refugees or immigrants or whatever, right? Because this is in the context. I went to Canada when I was
Canadian
19.
dream,
She was with a Haitian.
So
She told
I
her
was not with a
refugee.
Haitian.
She was with a Haitian. She
Don't
told
you know
her.
because
She told her refugee. She really scored a Haitian talking.
No.
Matumbo and you could have made it.
So I'm just saying, like,
sure.
I'll give you an example. I have a friend who is a refugee from Liberia, came to Canada, right?
Okay. This is
Saw
good.
the opportunity and
Maybe
never
answer.
got formally educated,
Mhm.
right? But decided to make sure he could speak proper English and went into the oil field.
Hmm.
Was exposed to the oil field and was like, look, this is heavy labor that I can't do forever. I need to figure out a plan as to how I could use this industry to propel me forward without ever going to school. Because I came as a refugee, nobody sending me to school for free. School in Canada is upwards of $100,000 for
Yeah.
a basic degree.
Yeah.
So he went through the stages, deckhand, rig hand, driller, rig manager, incorporate yourself, subcontract, whatever. Now he makes like $600,000 a year and sits in a truck and watches other people do work, and he's 42. Right? So
That's
I'm just
amazing.
saying, you just need to have a plan within your industry, but there has to be a plan. Your plan can't just be, I go in on these rigs because Alberta have oil, and I just go in and ride it out until the well runs dry. That to me is not the kind of person. So I could date 2 rig hands, but the one I would go for is the one who has the plan.
Well, my plan with this, my
Right.
plan with the rapping is, I just had a game manager and Drake has to see me, so I was so happy when he's coming on his show because I was like, yeah,
This was it. This was it.
this was it here. This was it here. I just had to make like a sort of IG stuff and me and you would again a relationship because of the Drake stuff, and then I could just make a big blog post and sleep with Drake child mother, and it's like, yeah, internet sensation. You spoil it. You're like, I want to tell a lawyer. What am I going to tell a lawyer about? My life is over.
You could sue him.
With what?
The lawyer here.
But I think guys just need to get rid of this idea that girls, and then maybe this does happen in Trinidad, but I know it doesn't happen in Canada. Women don't walk around thinking, if I am this, I need this. Right?
Oh.
Canada, I tell you, Canada is a dream, fellas. When you're single, go Canada. You get the top of the line. You don't want to do shit, and the government is mind the children.
Oh,
So,
Lord, that's mind the children.
When the government don't mind the children, honestly, if I breed 4 kids in Canada and they under the poverty line, the government don't give them $300 a month.
Yeah. Well, how you know the exact? Well, it depends on the province.
Yeah, it's pretty depends on the province. No, I've lived outside far away.
Yeah.
My kids all sent me
Well, if you want to turn mine in Canada, I
Those
guess the 2 best provinces are
Toronto,
Alberta,
Ontario.
Alberta, and then Ontario.
So we really back to square one, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's excellent advice, Crystal. Right? Have a fucking plan. Do something.
Stop listening to this girl.
Keep moving forward. and have a plan for
Smoke weed
yourself.
and waste your life.
I treat my life kind of like a business. Every quarter, I reassess what I've achieved in that quarter.
Crystal being a high achiever as you are.
I don't
Does
know.
that, that scare away, man?
I am
Does that
like,
scare away?
no, I am like the low. This is what's real make me laugh.
Let me hear this.
Of the people that I associated on a day-to-day basis in my field, I am probably the chillest, most laid back, less. And that's the funny part of it, because I'm a
Caribbean.
subset of
High achieving.
So high achieving people, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just think, unless you want to work for your entire life and look old at 30, you have to have a plan.
Because she's
that
29, guys.
how much labor you have to do and increases. They just,
She's
to me, it
29.
just makes sense. It's not about being a high achiever or want to whatever. I just don't want to be 50 and working like a dog.
A leverage plan. It's sad because the way to get men to do that is actually to motivate them. What motivates men
Is
most
women.
is not just women, that V word, the vagina.
Yeah.
And the issue is that there's a skewed way it's presented to men now that they don't really have to work as hard for it.
Because
Yeah,
they could
I
pay
agree with that.
$300. Because Canada, I think the price was like 50 for.
It's cheap.
No, yeah, Canada was 50 and then 75 for half and half. Don't ask me how I know that.
What's half and half?
Oh, yeah.
Glad you asked. Half and half is. I have no idea. I didn't ask the girl.
No, but
All right.
I didn't ask the girl.
again,
Well, prostitution is actually legal in Canada.
I know.
It might as well be legal in Trinidad.
You know,
What's illegal in Canada is the soliciting.
it's soliciting or prostitution. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't like all the advertising and all the people in the streets and thing. But the actual
Okay.
exchange of money for sex is not.
When I was living in Toronto, I was living in this spot called Etobicoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that street dwellers was a thing. I come from the Caribbean. I knew that illegal. So like,
For reference for people in Tobago is actually a very nice area.
I thought that was the white ghetto, to be honest with you, because I can show you where you can get heroin and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really.
yeah. Well, Canada, they just released a.
Yeah.
Canada is the second most drug addicted country in the world after the US.
Yeah, close by. You can,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so the girl that says, "Hi, you looking for company?" I had no friends in the city. I thought she actually meant a genuine friend.
Yeah,
So
but she's a company.
no, she said, "You looking?" I know, so I was like, "Yeah," because I kind of lonely and you in the city, whatever. So I was like, "Yeah, 55 for now, 50 for like regular and 75 for half and half." And I was like, "Wait a minute, this is a prostitute." Then apparently all the prostitutes in the area know exactly. It's like Google for the streets. If you didn't have phone, internet and stuff, you could ask a girl where you get this. They could tell you
they know.
anything.
Yeah.
What's a half and half, dog? We really need to know now.
Yeah.
Well, Joe and have sex. Oh God, you vanillas.
So she gonna. I need to understand that.
Okay,
because I
if
ask
you are-
questions for the
If you're just having sex with the girl,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
$50.
no, 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 no,
If you're
no.
having sex and a blowjob, it's $75.
or the name does go no, big man. What I'm asking is right.
Nice white lady.
When you get a prostitute to give you a head,
Mhm.
this would be
With a condom.
with paraphernalia or
With a condom.
PPEs on.
With a condom.
All right, cool. That's making sure.
I mean,
hope so.
you gotta pay- you gotta pay-
Although
you
with
gotta pay
inflation,
extra.
I saw those prices.
That was like 7. How many hours?
Yeah,
That
so
was
you're-
7 years ago.
Yeah.
You're
years ago.
likely at like 150.
Yeah, because our haircut was $30 and that was crazy.
So we're not motivated. Men are motivated generally, and the quality of the stock of the woman kind of like
Yeah, they have
Really
UVs.
yeah, BVs and UVs.
You don't want to know what UV is. No, that's a new one we came up with this weekend.
I feel like this song is more and more like a daunting situation for women, though. Because
What?
you're saying men are unmotivated. What motivates them is vagina.
And you're not
60%
giving-
of them unmotivated. So, like, the average woman is more motivated than a man is basically what
No,
you're
the,
saying.
no, the
Yeah.
So
average,
that's sad for us.
the average man is the average woman right now is laying down with a loser and then blaming all the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
men for the bullshit.
So it's applied on either side because
Yeah.
nobody wants to understand that hey, without the woman and the man being healthy, nobody will be happy. You know, because women. I mean,
Why can't
women-
men motivate themselves or motivate each other?
Or
Because
because
masturbation sucks.
let me just put some context in it, right? So
I was
the
expecting an answer.
motivation
I was like,
factor,
was a terrible
motivation
answer.
factor doesn't come from just arbitrary things. You want to basically reach the rock bottom or some point in yourself to realize, boy, something got to change.
Right.
And as a male, when you reach rock bottom, you know what you get? As a girl, when you reach rock bottom, you can go back home crying, okay, stupid girl, I told you not to take that, man. Come, I'll mind you, you're 5 offspring, whatever.
Who?
Society has helped them.
Hey, come on. Even in Canada, if you want to make children for every single man, the government will mind you. That'll happen.
You know, we
Women.
really wasn't going down this red pill.
There's
thing.
not a red pill thing.
Yeah, we really
It's
not
not
red
red
pill.
pill. But
I really needed to be categorical.
So you're saying women who have something to show for themselves, who
You, like you.
want some kind of, it doesn't even have to be on their level, but somebody who is motivated and is doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Their pool to pick from is very, very small.
20% of the
Significantly small.
population.
All right. And not only that, but they're competing with more women who are motivated and etc. So
Yes.
the plight really is for those women.
Mm-hmm.
No, because they remember the plight.
So why aren't we focusing on
Those women?
Yeah, those women. Why are we
see,
focusing on the
because
60%
because
of
then
the
we
women?
You want to answer, dog? You want to answer?
Because
Go
most of them are hot and we shallow. I go and say, most of them are hot. Is the Pareto distribution is we still talking about
I mean, by this maths, I should have at least 3 or
No.
4 different men.
shut the hell up.
You should.
Shut the hell up, you light skin.
Let's
You
talk
light
about
skin.
let's talk about what I am doing wrong then. I should have them by now.
We could talk about this all day. I'm glad that this
Because by then, maybe it's because I need to move back home.
I don't know if you saw online when,
should.
with this cake factory thing. What's it ice cake? What's it called the place?
cheesecake factory.
Cheesecake factory. Where
Feed
women came with a list of
I
prerequisites.
saw that, but that is
That's sensationalism.
And
That's,
yes, and most women didn't even agree with it. If you look at these comments and stuff, most
Good.
women didn't even agree
So
with it.
most women don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
when you speak to women, each individual woman says life is a spectrum, and I want something different from what Sally wants.
That's that water right there.
Yeah, I want something different from what Sally wants.
Freaking,
You're
I thought it
looking
was
for-
a new bottle, so I was like, dog, my mouth is.
That can never be a new bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was like watching it. I'm like, thought she was going to give me the hand nowadays. See, where you can't trust you. No,
Well, you
can't trust
said
red.
you pointed.
Can't
I
trust
gave
red
it what
women.
you
No,
wanted.
can't trust red women.
See, and this is why you can't please men. He pointed. I gave him exactly what he asked for.
Nah,
and he's
yeah,
still complaining.
you should have do it with your mouth. You should have do it with your mouth open.
You
too.
didn't say.
You should do it with your
I
mouth
want a
open
fresh
too.
bottle of water.
And
Because if
look
you
up
had
at me.
said that, I would have said, Donna, can you go and get a
Oh,
bottle? You
who's
said
that?
you wanted
Hey,
that bottle.
Hey, who
Wait.
is?
We don't call code names here. Hey,
Oh,
don't call
my bad.
any more code names, please.
Oh, you're going to start to call people name now?
Yeah.
No, thank God you didn't get mine.
For the purpose of this show, I am Mr. Bazie. This is Toolmeezy.
Oh, what's
Toolman.
my name in the show? then?
Toolman.
Your name is?
Your name, you can call yourself a very
Oh,
nice
okay.
person, right?
Oh, no, yeah, that's not it. It's strange enough. This is the nickname I had for you.
that's
It's
it.
just like, so, you know, it's like D. Marie Law is a nickname of somebody that you might know.
Uh-huh.
But like you were like the darker of the two. It's like D. Nigga Law. D. Nigga Law. I was like,
you gotta roll the R.
D. Nigga Law.
Hard R.
You know, because like when you come out, when I like legit, you come out the car, and I was like, wait a minute, she's not that dark. You know, I was thinking like my complexion. I was like, she light skin too. That photo, I ain't lying.
Say shut up, you
Lied.
slave.
What photo?
Lied. Whoever take that picture, make it look very brown skin.
Well, maybe I was tanned.
Oh. Yeah, fellas, you see again, you're getting a Douglas and you're getting a Reds, depending on the time of year.
Not Douglas.
Come back. Don't leave. Yeah.
Fella,
Don't give up. Hold on. You'll be all right now.
fuck it.
All right. So, I mean, I'm exhausted with this conversation, but we actually have a sensible woman on the show tonight who could have a proper discourse, right? Because the discourse doesn't end up, it has never reached the point past.
It's your fault, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we identify both men and women and shit. Right? The vast majority of
All
both
right.
on
Thanks,
shit.
Bob.
Right? And then they have the ego to go with it. Right? Because they have real bombs out here who thinking there's Casanova.
Correct.
And then they have real women out
Holy
here.
fuck, why you watch me? I
That's
said
what I'm
correct and no correct, and then she was watching him the whole time. I was like, Bombs.
Well, you know, I
I
tried
didn't
to
notice how it went on.
share the eye contact.
You should know.
Yeah. And then they have real women who too promiscuous.
Yes,
Fail to
that's-
even take them serious. Right? And that is really the majority of people, you know. So when somebody
But do guys actually care about that?
Yes.
yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I mean, the deal, yes. I don't, like, imagine.
That's also a cultural difference.
Mm.
Because in Canada, fellas,
Yes, they do. Because I have a lot of Canadian friends and all I'm seeing men is shit over
maybe
there.
them and most of them probably have a Caribbean background.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Eastern European. I was in a white
Okay,
neighborhood.
well, yes, because they have similar cultural than us. But Canadians, like white people, do not care.
Until they blow the we cast it out. Until they reach a point where you know it's self-deletion and thing because they've been repressed.
Even if you look at the way Canadian society has evolved, right? They
Thank you.
as
They're the
long as
best.
everybody is getting tested regularly and
So it's more liberal.
much more liberal.
When I saw like what kind of test? Like aptitude test or something?
No,
like that?
STD tests and stuff.
What
Canada
was
is-
the
What do you mean?
what's the STD test? You can test for that.
You know, sometimes you ask somebody who was on the show, well, if
You
I
can test for STDs now for real? That's a thing.
Yes. You do a
Shit.
blood work and you can test for everything. You
Shit.
test for like 12 things.
Because that thing now, my cousin.
You can do home ones now and you send it in and you wait for the results to come back.
Tool man, you remember this?
I can make anybody believe I don't know something.
Listen,
I swear to
you
God.
remember the conversation you had with the was it OnlyFans girl? Yeah.
Bressy. Yes.
Right. So he was asking her, why if men more violent if they're not getting vagina, why women just don't give men
Yeah.
more, sims,
how come
more sex?
If you have the three fellas, why not allocate your vagina to three selective people? Not you, but just give three men the blind. Like a bum, a good, a hyena, and a middle guy. So the bum is speak for the bum is to motivate him. The middleman, the higher guy is to just please his needs.
I just don't understand why the focus is always on what men need. Like, taking that same analogy.
What do women need? What do
No,
women
but I'm saying, like, if you get in, I actually don't, I wouldn't do it, but I don't, because I don't have the time and the capacity for it, but I don't have a moral
Moral.
I'm not morally against women who will say, okay, fine, I'm not getting everything from one man. So I'm going to date two guys. I'm going to get whatever I could get from this one guy, emotional support and whatever, he builds me up or whatever. But he don't have anything going for him and he's unmotivated. And then I'm also going to date motivated guy with a great job, but who don't have time for my stuff outside of his life.
Try to balance.
I actually don't. If you've been dating and married and whatever, and you've tried, I actually don't hold it against anybody who sees, as long as you're being safe, then yeah, date these two people as long as they're aware that you're dating and it's not monogamous.
Use the reason why men get their butt because there's come you waiting a shit where it's like, I mean, if you're being safe,
take our next man.
Take our next man. Fuck
That
life.
has been going on with men for years.
Different.
Right? For years. So women now who are accomplished and whatever, if they want emotional support from one person and, I have a lot of friends, I know a lot of girls who say, well, my man can't really
perform
to
Yeah.
the expectation. Right?
Yeah,
But he's
talking
a
about
real good dad and he's a good provider.
more
and he's a good
physically
supporter and
perform.
whatever. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so therefore, but this other guy
He's a
gives
rapper.
me whatever.
Oh, gosh.
The conversation we have had is, as long as there's no emotional connection, that is what this other guy is going to provide to me. And there are marriages that are okay with that.
And I'm because
And the focus there is on what the woman needs, not the husband or the other guy, right? So you buy your home STD test kit, you do your thing, you make sure you don't get your partner, whatever.
STD
and
test.
Now,
So the
I
conversation-
cannot do that
so
because
the-
I don't have the capacity to do that.
You're not sociopath.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
but there are people who have it and who do it, and I don't have a.
So you
I
need
don't have anything against it.
one guy that
It's not
raps
even
on
about needing
iCloud.
one guy, My issue is
Streamer.
a lot of God, how to put this, boy?
Anyway, you can.
She gonna come out sounding real horrible. I
No,
didn't say
listen. This is really what the bottom line.
Do we need a
with me.
disclaimer for all the yellow belly, thin skin people out there? This is just conversation earlier. So
Hey,
don't
she's
feel
like,
it.
let's remember, she's light skinned.
I think for me, it's a ripple effect. There's a lot of things that no matter how good it is, it's not gonna matter if other things aren't there. Right? And it's not because I have any moral opposition to people who want to date multiple. It's not even about that. It's just for me, it doesn't matter how big your dick is, right? If the other things aren't there, that sex is not gonna be good. So that's kind of how, whereas for some people, they could separate that. They could completely they have things that they need in silos. So like, I need good sex, that stands alone. I need
or the compartment.
somebody who could compartmentalize things very easily. I cannot do that. So
Sociopath.
because I can't do that, it doesn't. So it doesn't matter how, there's people ask this, they say, well, do you miss this ex that you had because they did X, Y, and Z great? I'm like, no, because the ripple effect of being good at that thing, but being a liar or whatever, kind of overran whatever that was that you were good at. Because to me, it all connects,
It's
right?
like buying a luxury car.
Yes, correct. Right? Exactly.
Understood.
So that is how, but I
stand on
don't
the
hold it against people who are able to compartmentalize in that way and say, this is the purpose this person serves, this is the purpose this second person serves, this is the purpose this third person serves. And I can't get everything from one person. I recognize that in life. So as long as I'm being safe and I'm not compromising these other people's health and whatever else.
Okay.
And sanity. I'm
Yeah.
telling him, men don't like
No,
shit.
but men, I
Men
think
don't like
men
shit.
know about, like, they would know about the other partners and them men get up. But anyway.
Even if they don't confront the person, I mean, yes,
Yeah, this weekend as well.
ideally you'd have the conversation and everybody will know. But even if you don't, men aren't stupid, they know. Well,
Clearly.
they have an idea.
That's a model. That's a
You see
model
these
that
funny
we
name
really
girls,
can't
like?
speak of.
I will find it hard to believe that a guy has no idea that they
Because she's feel
might have had sex with somebody else.
She's feel different. It does.
Right.
I don't
So-
care. It's feel
All right.
different. I can tell
So
you.
this does not explain the countless men who have been taken by dismay. And
No, bro, you doesn't know. You doesn't know.
yeah, okay. You
I would know.
you might say,
But
all
then
right,
again, not
you
really
know,
because
yeah, observant, whatever the cases. But what about the man who working
18 hours.
24 hours because he had two jobs?
Oh.
And he's
It's a
like,
mindless-
literally sleep on
My
one
thing
job.
is, it doesn't really matter, You just have to decide whether or not you're the type of person. Because we all know you can't get everything from one person. So you just have to decide if you're okay not having everything as long as the key things are there. So if it's items 1 to 5, but the most important priority items for you are 3, 4, and 5, you have to decide if you're the type of person that's okay having your priority items 3, 4, and 5, knowing that you may never get 1 and 2. Or if you're the type of person that needs all 5, and even if your priority items are fulfilled, you need somebody else for numbers 1 and 2.
You're speaking for very intelligent people.
Hold on there. Just
And the issue here is that, the issue here is that there are
press
not
that button
that
now,
many intelligent people in the world.
and in Trinidad especially.
You
just
know what's
gotta
our
decide for
average
yourself.
IQ?
Sorry?
You know our average IQ is like 85 point something.
27.
I don't even think IQ is important, It's EQ.
Well,
Your emotional intelligence is more important.
You
than
like
your-
an emotional man.
Yeah, you have to have your emotions in check.
You like an emotional
when
man.
you say in check, what if I feel to cry now? I say, Crystal, I think I want to cry. No.
She's looking to laugh in your face.
Yeah, and he crying
And
about,
she's gonna get dry.
he crying
And I
about
don't
he
mean
lost some
husking.
man yesterday and the man passed him straight. And he's had to cry and say, people don't love me, and so they emote.
Yeah, women
That's fine. I'm just saying, I'm saying emotional intelligence in the sense that you have to
I
be
hate everything she
realistic
says.
and logical in how you deal with even relationships and emotional things, right? So that raises your emotional intelligence. You have to really look at things and be like, okay, I've looked inside myself. I realize I am this type of person. How do I go about doing things in a logical matter, recognizing who I am, right? And that's you just have to come down. I know who I am. I am fine with not. I'm actually comfortable being uncomfortable. I know there's going to be times where you're not going to have everything you want in a person, in a job, in life, in whatever. And I am comfortable in that space.
Listen,
Right? So some people aren't. They're always going to be chasing the next thing.
the rhetoric here, right? The rhetoric does turn into
You're right. Yeah.
rhetoric, right? I don't Trinidadian by
Rhetoric.
tell them about
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
the rhetoric.
Rhetoric.
Yeah, it's turned into I have a standard as a
Right.
woman, quote unquote. I'm a woman. I have a standard, and I will never cross the standard. But sometimes you tend to see. Now I'm not talking about all, but there have been instances and occasions where you would find these same women with some waste men,
Right.
and
But is that in between?
No, that's
no,
the
like,
man.
that's
That's
their
the man.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's their man.
that's your body.
And
And-
you can pay less.
And you look at them and you say, what do you think really gonna happen here? But you don't say anything, right?
And he has
Because-
4 kids outside.
Yeah.
Of who?
right? He's
That the government is not
That's
mine.
wild. That's
He's a village ram.
He's a
Blah, blah,
village rat. But you could carry him to a party with you. He's very tall, handsome, and you could tell your other professional friends, I have him on lock,
right.
my
But then
boy,
that just
Toy.
goes back to my original analogy, right? For
Alright.
her priorities are items, whatever, 1, 2, and 3.
But then
But
Yeah.
there's a
caveat.
but. But then
Caveat.
I start, well, I'm the man now in the scenario, and I start pushing back for standards to happen as well. I start saying you can't do this X by Y by Z because I have standards too.
Right.
And it all of a sudden turns into, well, who you talking to?
Right.
I am the one
I pay the bills, motherfucker.
who do it X by Y by Z.
You ever tell man I pay the bills? Come on. You tell man
No,
you
it's
never
usually
tell-
with bombs. So there's
you never tell- I pay the bills here. This is my apartment or townhouse.
I've
or-
never had that issue.
I watched that Beyonce playing in the background. And
Yeah,
No.
You think you don't know what I am? Excuse me. And you roll the neck.
I have never had that issue.
Right? So these women be like, well, who the fuck are you talking to? Right? Because you don't pay shit for me. I just do
I
everything.
do
for
my
myself.
meals
You could go and I could just replace you.
in a heartbeat.
The thing is, the person that they're going to replace him with is just another example of him.
And she just does a circle.
So
That's
she
this.
never, even though she's more accomplished, she never truly goes after the man that she really wants.
Part of the problem I could see with that is because the men who have a woman could have it all and still have to choose lower than. But the men who have it all have such a wide pool of women who have it all to choose from
Yes, we do.
that
Yeah.
some women who have it all will not go
Yes, we
because they lack a little bit of one particular thing and their pool, their competition is so much wider.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect example. You're real. I could name Jeff. No, what's his name? Bill Gates could come. You come
Right.
with me.
Mm-hmm.
Melania, whatever her name is, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't not trying to line up with no line to hit that some sticks. I tell
Yeah.
you, because she's
Which is unfortunate. Women
Well-
will always have more of a struggle.
And this is where the lines become very blurred, right? Because like you might tell women, go and get X by Y by Z. Get a man for this, get a man for that, man for this, right? But they are so accustomed with a comfort level of I not going behind no baller who have the height, the status, the money.
Right.
I will look for some happy medium, which never exists.
Mm-hmm.
because you'd always compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was
Right? Because you'll never find what you're looking for if you don't get uncomfortable.
Right.
Right? Women are trained to be uncomfortable.
because you say they're comfortable. Eh?
I said I am comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, she did actually.
Yeah.
You say, oh,
Yeah.
love this lawyer.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a freaking assault charge coming up. You gotta be there on my side.
Right? So that's the dilemma. That's basically the paradigm that we find ourselves in, because while women have the power now,
Mm-hmm.
they are not willing to really put in the work that's needed to attract top whatever percent of man. Right? Because he was going to ask you about why shit I taking you on for
Mm-hmm.
when I have Lena scrubbing my shoes, this one
Right.
in my car. Yeah. You know the whole story.
But I don't think that's an issue with the woman not willing to put in the work. That is the fact that men who are at a certain level, they don't see the point in settling down with one woman when they have a plethora of options to pick from. But women at that same level still see the value in settling down with one.
The problem becomes
Opportunity.
not just that,
Oh, okay.
right? The problem becomes now that one guy is not equal to the one woman at the top in terms of what the opposite sex looks for,
Right.
right? So why we say focus on men is because women have what the end users want, which is the good, the vagina. So
That's typically what the men want, you know.
I think
Right.
the end, they
That's
got a
all.
vagina. The
Nah,
end, people
trust me.
want security.
Men?
Nah.
No, not men.
Oh.
Like, I think more than, because I get why y'all focus on men, because at the end of the day, you guys are men and it's all about getting to
what
that.
we using at the end.
But even men, to some extent, they want, it's not security in the same way, but they want a woman who will take care of them.
That's men who grew up with
Right.
single mothers, by the way.
Them women who take care of them.
Well, emotionally and
Men
will
who
be
grew up with
there,
single mothers.
when they have a hard day and all that stuff. Like, I think both men and women want security.
No, but who
That's-
should be heard? Who should be afraid? Are you na 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 na? Who should be heard?
I don't
Who
know. Sorry.
should be?
Yeah.
No, there is nothing in it. You know why? She went out of her shit, guys. She back in the 90s with this shit.
That's a bad shit, though, but
Yeah.
I mean, there must come a point when men have slept with enough girls that it's not even so much, or women, it's not even so much about, you could get pum pum. Like, that's not the issue.
and that's
Right.
where you will start seeing them do shit like get remarried.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Or like go through a cycle of the same shit over
You
and
see-
over.
Yeah.
You see, the paradigm is that okay. Thought you had do something there.
Why would I?
Okay, good. We've grown as a friend. friendship.
What the fuck?
So the paradigm is, I was like, let's throw these nuggets out there to see who want to be grammar Nazis out there. Anyway, the paradigm is, I sleep with 20 girls on a weekly basis. At some point, I'm going to be very bored of 4, 5, and 6. I can't keep repeating them because I'm getting older. I want to have children.
Right.
However, majority of them going to be horrible mothers
Right.
because social media
Yeah.
has made them chase down stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to probably the men who might want to settle down more if the girl was like less, I don't want to say masculine for the red pill word or the trigger word, but a little bit more nurturing and less
Right.
goal oriented.
Right.
I'm not saying this, and I'm doing it in air quotes so you understand I'm not trying to trigger anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the plight of what's going on with the successful, high value men.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The women now still looking for what they've always looked for.
Providers, protectors.
And
Right.
they are now providers because of feminism.
Mm-hmm.
It's feminism, or I forget how it's pronounced. Feminism, something like that. I think it's French. You speak the language better than me.
Right.
It's what feminines? It's like Juman or something like that. It's like Nazis, whatever.
Feminazi.
Something like that. Yeah.
Ah.
So the plight has not changed for women. The plight has changed for men because we always wanted the same thing. However, sociology, psychology has changed over the course of the last 50 years. We had a lot of mental, philosophical.
Yeah, real schools are thought changed.
Feminism came in very nice with this second and third wave. I would have fight on the second wave. This third wave feminism is bullshit though. So would have been if this was 19, like your mother time, our mother, time, whatever. Would I want different things? You know what? I just want a man who can want man just be good to me. That was
the 80s. That was the sentiment of
right.
the 80s.
Just be good to me. And get what you're doing.
There was a song about that.
Yeah, just be good to me.
Yeah.
This generation is like, eat my pussy while I'm watching Naruto.
Yeah.
That's the
vast.
You could be my Sasuke.
Yeah, that's the vast sentiment there.
Wow. Okay.
No, that's the vast sentiment.
That is a song like I ain't making this shit up.
Okay.
But that is a song targeted to a specific audience.
Low IQ, high fertility.
Yeah, mostly to the wheel. So we have a big system that's kind of like in place, and the reason why it is existent, I guess, is because nobody sees the need in changing it. It's benefiting economically more the system than going back to this way of monogamy and making sure everybody was chaste and
because
pure.
You don't want to go back to be chaste and you want to go back to the go HNC and speak and see
And
work
that's somebody telling you, Crystal, shut your mouth.
Shut up. Back in the kitchen, I would like a grilled cheese, please.
Yeah. Don't ever come and see the food boiling.
How much sandwiches have you made recently? It's a horrible task, isn't it?
Well,
It is.
You're not going back in no kitchen, Crystal.
I cook all the time.
You know, could you make a sandwich?
Okay.
My reason for being educated is so that if something happens,
Like what?
There's a contingency.
yeah, I live in another country where I don't have nobody house to move back into if I lose my house tomorrow. So it
Stakes are high
is
for you.
on me. So I have to make sure that I can take care of myself. That's it, bottom line, right?
I
Unlike
understand.
most people that live away, something they get fired tomorrow, they can go move into their mother basement. I don't have anywhere to
Yeah, that basement life is dog shit. I ain't lying.
You see, reality is be a little bit more complicated than just saying hard and fast. You need to do this and that and this and you get man. So we really not casting any aspersions on people, right? Whatever results that person have in their life, that is their prerogative. So I keep saying why we focus on the men is because the men are who we need to change this shit first.
Women go follow.
Okay.
Women go follow.
If they have a
Like
draft,
they've done with all of this bullshit.
yeah, if you have a draft, you make sure and get the strongest men first, then the weaker men, then the women, then the younger ones, the women come into fight last.
So how do you motivate men beyond
Sex
sex?
We have to desexualize a man's mind,
Right.
first and foremost, right? That's the first thing.
might have to come on social media.
Social media is something that cripples you mentally.
Right.
There have a myriad of things that you could do as a man, but it all boils down to what you adhering beliefs. You grew up in like, I'll give myself an example. I grew up in a place where skullduggery, debauchery, well, which other re you could use, boy?
Adultery.
Adultery was prevalent.
Right.
All right, crime prevalent. However, in some shape or form, I always saw it as nonsense. The crime, me being a bad man, gun sack for what? When I say gun sack, holding some bad man gun for him. Why would I do that? And then he lock him up in a dog kennel and beating me up when he did come and them kind of things. But that was because there was some form of, I would credit my family members, right? Who my grandmother, whoever the case is, who had some ability to reach to me and help me understand that, hey, you have a big head, you're smarter than that.
Right.
Right? So coming back to the point I'm trying to make is that I'll land in the plane here because we're talking about this too long time to move on. Men, women having the I blame you, you blame me mentality is going to only help social media become a wealthier place.
Right.
Let me just go back to blaming the races. That's what we're saying. It's the Indians' fault.
Tribal politics
It's always
is
been their fault.
Alright.
Fort PN.
So, in terms of like your career path, let me say a relationship comes into the place where the person demands certain standards
Okay.
and says, listen, you need to be a housewife now. Checks all the boxes. I'll pay for this, and boom, and you need to be a housewife. Will you stop your career?
No.
So then itself is our next challenge.
How are going to get you back to be a molded woman now? How are that out there?
But I think the problem with that is not because is a fighting against the person and etc. When you do this type of career and you've done it for so long, it becomes a part of who you are.
And you see
It's a
how it
part
could
of your
go wrong.
personality. So it's really hard.
Is your identity?
It's hard. It really does become part of your identity. I know people who introduce themselves as a lawyer first before anything else.
Are
Right.
they like suicidal?
No, that's just, it's kind of part of this. It's doctors do the same thing,
Okay.
right? It's kind of, if you do it long enough and because you put so much into it. I mean, when you think about it, you're in school for like 9 years. If you specialize, that's another 3 years. And you've been practicing for 10, 15 years. That's a large chunk of your life that's dedicated to a certain type of work, right? Now, if somebody said, I don't want you to run a firm anymore because it takes away too much, and I have no problem going on and finding a job, working a 9 to 5 for the government or something and collecting a salary, but still being a lawyer because that's part of my identity. Or a lot of lawyers do humanitarian work, like how doctors do Doctors Without Borders. But you're not going to take away a whole part of my personality and what I do, what I'm interested in, the type of news I watch, the type of things I read are usually very law related. So you're basically telling me, you can't be Crystal anymore because about 30% of my personality is around
What about
legal
the
things.
kids? After I inseminate you, Crystal, you won't have time to do that.
No, I'll
dumb
still be
law
able
shit.
to read.
Well, okay, I'll buy you a book. It have a bookshelf.
Yeah, but it's gonna be law related, and I'm gonna want to do something. I'm gonna want to volunteer somewhere, or I'm gonna want to, whatever. I get what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
but the point I am making is when something like this becomes, it's not a job. Law is not a job. Being a doctor is not a job, right? It really does become part of who you are.
I mean, it's
There's a lot of
philosophically-
lawyers that go into politics, right?
Minor.
If you look at most of the people who are, Obama was a lawyer,
We know a few.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I band together with you.
Yeah.
so
No, again, the nuances, the subtle little idiosyncrasies of somebody being who they are. And I mean, we could all wish for a perfect world where you meet Prince Charming and then he's willing to go and sync up with you on every level.
right.
That will exist, so
But
sometimes.
that part will be a deal breaker for sure. Because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna kill a part of my personality because you don't like it.
Wow. You need to kill your identity. That's how you get him, man. That's how you keep him. Kill yourself.
It's easier said than done, and it's a hard task.
Become the robot I need you to be.
Yeah, that's
Be a
hard, though.
Stepford wife.
It's gonna be a hard path.
Stepford wife. Trust me, you'll be so much more better. We remember what I like back in the day? You know what they used to do, women? Something called a lobotomy. Like if
Oh gosh.
let's say you had a lobotomy, fuck that law. Fuck that law, shit, girl. Bam.
We starting to get to the Nazi territory. Yeah.
We're not there. That was just Nazis doing that.
No.
No, that was doing that
They
to
did that.
women in the 1940s when they misbehaved.
Not just women, they did that to a
That's
lot
when you
of
bore a
men
hole
too.
in your head and
They did up the nail up your nose.
They did that to a lot of people after World War II and stuff too.
that was what I mean.
I was talking about like the gender relations that's doing
I
that to
get
women. So you see like a misbehave, like you're talking this law craziness. Like the devil on here is like, okay, we're gonna put like drop holy water on here. Call my Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve that's gonna get the nail gun. Bang! You gonna come back. How do you like your sandwich, my love? I say, oh, I miss this lady.
You know who I blame, dog?
White women.
Nah, for Trinidad.
White women.
You know who I blame for
Blame
Trinidad?
them.
You know who I blame for Trinidad's demise? Because we could only speak on Trinidad being a Trinidadian podcast.
Right.
I blame them old men and them from the 60s and 70s who had the ability to usher in an example of what is needed to be a sensible man. And they went too far right in terms of being too aloof, too immune to circumstances, too out of touch,
Stoic.
too stoic. At some point, it becomes too much. And there's a big communication divide. I respect my prime minister. I really do.
Here we go.
But I take real issue with when we looking at who really should be the people taking us into the future.
Right.
It shouldn't be people who have no understanding of what the world is today. yeah, you might have certain leadership qualities,
Right.
but these are the people who would be like, don't tell me nothing I know I do long before you born.
Right.
That's not how you solve problems. They come in with the charisma of
Chief.
no, like the old giraffes and them in the colony who try to beat up on the younger giraffes so that they can have breeding rights, but they can't have sex anymore.
Right.
So they just fucking up the whole giraffe
Right.
population.
Right.
That's exactly what has happened in this country.
All right.
So young men are being systematically degraded because of the fact that there are older bulls in place who really don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to get what they want out of society.
And they're trying to get the young girls to it. So we can't
And
be
they're trying
convinced.
to get the young
That
girls.
was our issue, big issue. Them old niggas was
So
always
where
trying
are older women in society?
to. Yeah, nobody,
Oh,
no,
God.
no one cares. No one cares. They are their kids. They are their time.
Old men, old
Their
women,
wombs are dried up.
old women and young men have it the hardest in this society. Young men who haven't achieved anything,
All right.
and old women who lost that the world being the oyster.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And they lose it because they follow the anti-feminist thing. I'll find a man, think that man, leave them high and dry with 4 children. They old, they not no land, and they have no skill set.
They have no skill set.
All right.
So that's the nightmare for a lot of women.
All right.
Right? But what we're seeing is that the openness or the liberalness of the liberty of sexuality in this world, it's actually pushing women further into that.
Yeah.
To be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you,
You know?
lonely or alone?
Not everybody would be of your EQ and IQ to
Mm-hmm.
be able to say, hey, I see my road on you. I know what my road is, or they don't tell me what my road is, right?
Right.
A lot of them will just end up in a circumstance and say, oh, he's a narcissist because he used me. Yeah, but
Here's what messed up. When we reach 40, 50,
Mm-hmm.
60, that low degree, or whatever degree I have, or degree, it gonna make absolutely no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're gonna look back, maybe I wish I'd spend more time with the person I was with before they die.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I wish I'd spend more time with maturing.
oh, you mean when they're confronted with immortality?
Your mortality finally set in. Okay, I do.
Yeah, but you assume that somebody did it a certain way. Well, I see it the other way around.
Mhm.
Having a law degree has given me the ability to have flexibility
Mhm.
at a much younger age than people I know
Ah.
without it on a 9 to 5.
Yoga has given me that
Yeah.
flexibility. And I have to say, my flexibility might be a little bit better than yours.
No, but not speaking about you particularly.
Yeah.
We had to talk about the generality. The
Yeah,
general,
we talking about general.
generally women don't have that sense of a plan as well.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they want. They want the best man.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually ask them to itemize and identify step 1 to 5, how to get this man, crickets.
And
Right?
most men don't actually know what they want to do.
Most men
Right.
just existing till elections come across again and then they vote whoever and then they go back existing.
And I go back to the service
That's
job.
terrible.
Yeah.
That's
No,
that's the
I
life
feel,
of a-
I feel your plight, you know. I feel your plight.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is the people, it have some individuals that might be a little bit too smart for what's going on here and just have recused themselves
Yeah.
from the general thing. As like, yo, I don't even
That's
want to fight
island
up.
living.
Yeah.
I don't even want to fight up in the rat race because the whole thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, Bushman.
Yeah, oh God.
And Bushman is like, whoever. I get to be,
It's all two bushmen, eh?
no, but when I say Bushman, you know, the
Yeah. All right, cool.
or try to be the Rasta. I like the completely intellectual, completely EQ, but it's
Yeah.
like to be in this rat race.
Yeah.
Gil, let me leave Babylon now. Come, snatch, trust me, I have your best
Yeah.
interest
They
at
choose
heart.
not to participate. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's
Catch water by the spring. And
they
Off the grid.
completely fulfill. But that might be a little bit too slow for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see this person, they have the same vigor as somebody that motivated in doing, I don't know, when you say pipe work, like the oil rig guy
Yeah.
might be very motivated, but motivated to be recluse.
recluse.
Mm.
Well, so what's happened to him? He don't get you.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Ooh.
impossible to.
Yeah, but I mean,
Ah,
it's
yeah,
impossible.
you
Like,
are-
how would you even? There's no opportunity.
The opportunity there. You ever went up in the bush and look for a bushman? Them is a real
You know when the lines might cross? You take
What?
a trip and they come to Trinidad and you end up in the bush.
Yeah,
On
on
a
some
hike,
kind of like
and then
on a
he
hike
just,
or something.
he just by a tree. I was like,
Because we see this already, the white woman who went to Africa.
oh, if
And-
you read this
Yeah.
book called Heading South
Okay.
Yeah.
or How to Make Love to a Negro and Not Get Tired, that's an actual book. That's an actual book. Not making this up in the slightest. If you read those two books, same author, is some French guy, Canadian. That's why I'm referencing him. you will see that in Haiti, because he was Haitian, that's why I reference it as well. You see, everything is tied together in
Full
a
circle
perfectly neat thing. You would see that desexterism. It had this man, his whole life, he just built a house wherever. This woman came. She came with her family.
Was
This
she from the UK?
yeah,
Did she
actually,
be from the UK?
yeah, white woman,
Or
yeah.
Scandinavia to Scandinavia.
No,
That
this
was
is just
second.
this one was
We
UK.
talk about Haiti.
Yeah, and
He
Haiti's
came
is
with her husband,
British.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the man just walk up to her, gave her a rose. She asks, what happened with his what's this man seen? Whatever. He have a donkey cart and he said, oh, he's live over there in that house. That plant he gave you, some not rose, some plant, whatever. Good.
Something with that deep meaning.
Yeah, it's like basically men is give that to women that they love and want to be with.
Right.
The night now, the husband wake up. This is that whole chapter. And I can see this happening. And he wake up, he's like, where's my wife? Where's my wife? Thing. Actually, bell woman, oh, she went up in this trail, wherever. He goes up the trail. He oblivious. So he walk up there, is like, hey, you gotta tell me you was gonna buy this house. That's real nice. She's like, what are you talking about? No, I'm in my house now. This is my man.
Right.
And he was like, what were the kids and thing? Don't worry about it. I cool. And then he come downstairs and is like, hey, this is Frank. Or I forget the name, but I was like, this is some crazy shit. Heading south. Gotta read that shit.
Okay.
And that's basically, he is completely fulfilling his shitty probably a board house, little brick
Right.
house on the stilts, wherever.
Right.
And she's fulfilled with that.
But this just goes to show the opportunity arose. She took it.
He was a
You know?
donkey cart guy.
Right.
You comfortable being with that donkey carter?
I mean, if the opportunity arises and I feel fulfilled, like how this woman felt fulfilled, I mean, I can't speak for that. That hasn't happened to me.
Don't worry.
But-
I know enough donkey carters. How long are you going to be here? A month?
Yes.
We'll talk to our people. We'll get your donkey cart guy.
So
That's
in a
funny.
long-term sense of things now, right? That spark, how long did it last?
Well, that wasn't the whole book. It was just different chapters and different scenarios.
Okay.
Because it's like Cinderella.
Mm.
You get the gossip of Prince Charming, but you didn't say a week after you didn't see this nigga about 4 children
Right.
already, bastard children.
Or even in your story, she didn't wake up one day and be like, what am I doing? And go back to the UK.
No,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't know.
But the other one that was that happened in real life,
She went back home.
went back home. She was
Right.
like,
Back
you see,
home.
this shit in Africa.
Yeah.
She's like living in a hut. Left everything behind.
Yeah.
Make a child in Africa with us.
People have these existential crises and they, make these decisions, but the fact that they're from a first world country gives them the opportunity to just
Oh,
To eat,
pop
pray,
down
and
the
love.
wall and
matter
go
of fact,
back.
the biggest
Right?
opportunities of them all, because Rose, that devil,
Oh God.
that white demon.
Oh gosh. Don't mention her.
You know who's Rose? I sure you grew up on that stupid movie as well.
The
Titanic.
Yeah.
You was already going to marry the rich man who was going to mind you and your family. You saw the street urchin who had to get his hair flicked from lace.
Mhm.
And then you had sex with him in somebody else's car.
Right.
And it was your fault that the ship sank. You know, nobody's talking about that. If them wasn't bullying in that car, that man would have been doing in Germany. Titanic would not have sank.
I mean,
Watch
that's
the
a-
movie over.
That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting
Yeah.
If them just wasn't cutting their flick, you now watch it. Hey, look what going on now. And you went out watch the iceberg coming.
And
Flick.
crash into the ice.
And then we
They
would
probably would have still crashed, but all right.
stop taking away from Rose. It's your fault.
Probably
it's
would have
Rose's
still
fault.
So
crashed.
much. And then the most crass moment of all, on that stupid dresser,
Mm-hmm.
that boat could have fit the two of them because this nigga ain't that buff.
Okay. The flotation.
Yeah, it's not really wicked. I'm a wrestling promos right now. So I try to do on this bullshit friggin' dresser, the two because she ain't that big and she ain't that big. They could have hung and wicked. What did she do? She let him motivate her and die. And when he died, she took all of his dreams and married our next guy. And poor Billy Zane, who was my favorite character in this whole movie, because he was the slickest of all of them.
But what about his personal responsibility to be like, yeah, Rose, move over and
Go
I'm climbing
so.
on?
Right.
Like, or even push her off. Like, I just don't understand why we always have to come back to like blaming a female. Men have personal responsibility to make the decisions like
I
they make.
have absconded this episode. I am retiring for the evening.
It is
Good night.
It is belong to honor, boy. Yeah, I think that's what it's boiled down to, right? It's not necessary for a woman to think in terms of honorably, whereby the onerous thing to do would be chivalrous until there's no more.
Yeah,
right?
come on the board too.
But that's not the case. That's why it's not about to say today, and maybe again, maybe not in Trinidad, maybe because I live in North America, but like that would be the conversation. Relationships are more partnerships of them. That would have been the conversation. Climb on. Let me help you on. We can both fit. Right? If we shift our bodies this way, the board itself won't sink. That is kind of the conversations that I had now.
He should have
right?
let her die and pick up that next girl on the boat.
But maybe this is still this is the cultural difference, right? Because that is my inclination to be like, how can you have a partnership where both people are motivating each other to do better and eventually build
Let's
together?
go
right?
to exhibit number 2. Because we're going down this road of car wrecks of relationships. This scumbag Noah. And for some reason, every single movie that this man is in, he's always get cuckolded.
Who's Noah?
Oh, from
Oh, I know
that
you.
one with the
No, act like you don't know.
The
You
Notebook.
watched it.
I can't
yes.
remember the name. I was going to say the lady who
You
had
watched it,
Alzheimer's.
yes.
The Notebook.
Yeah, I've watched them all with girlfriends, and I said, "You stupid bitch, you are going to wreck this relationship straight to hell." And Opinion 3, of course, is gone, Gil. Don't ever watch that with your girl.
Oh, I've never seen Gone.
Yeah, no. You definitely don't watch that.
Okay.
Don't watch it to that guy. It's giving too much ideas. TV giving all. Ali McBeal has made you into the greatest lawyer of all.
Ali McBeal.
Ali McBeal.
And Law and Order. Stop watching television.
Law and Order is actually the most accurate law show on TV.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, CSI is garbage, but Law and Order is a little bit more accurate as like how a trial actually runs.
I've laid down with a few lawyers to know that that's not a factual statement.
And the old Law and Order, not the new one. Like the
Okay,
old
okay.
one.
Okay.
With the old white man who's the prosecutor. With the
Okay.
white hair, tall white guy. Like the one from like
But
the 90s.
that's interesting
That's the most accurate one.
because
Not the new one.
there's nothing nowadays that they actually, we come back to nowhere. There's nothing nowadays that actually happens where it's actually factual.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's factual, but it's more realistic as to how like an actual trial runs.
Yeah. I was talking about the fire show. Nonsense.
Complete unrealistic.
Yeah, everything is just unrealistic. Grey's Anatomy, unrealistic.
Oh,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the sex and stuff is at many hospitals like that,
Yeah.
but not like that traumatic.
Yeah.
You're like, I've had a doctor. It was a dating a doctor.
No, she said no.
No, I'm not dating a doctor, but I've had clients who are doctors.
Lamest relationship
Really?
ever because they're so methodical. Put it in
Yeah.
exactly.
They're pretty typey.
Put it in extremely at 30 degrees due east, and you have to go at a 5. They're like this. Really describe how this orgasm is supposed to play.
Really? It's like surgery.
Yeah, it's
Shit.
horrible.
That's unfortunate.
Anyway,
So,
I didn't get to talk
finish
about
up in
Noah.
Noah. Nah, go ahead.
Yeah,
didn't get
shit,
to talk
Noah,
about
yeah.
2 minutes, man.
Every movie Ryan Gosling is in, he has fooled women into believing 2 things: that he's good looking because he looks like a Cyclops, and every movie that Cyclops is in, our next man is taking his girl because Cyclops was in the Notebook as well. I don't know their names because whatever.
So that's his rule in
And-
Hollywood.
As per usual, these romance movies have fooled women into believing you can go with that bum because that's what Noah and Leonardo DiCaprio were in those movies.
Right.
And you will get a fabulous life after. That is what is pushing the bullshit. Romanticism.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with feminism.
Right.
It has to do with 1743. No, sorry,
But
17.
are these movies categorized as romance fiction?
However, women have not delineated the
Fiction from
ability
reality.
to do this.
Have they though? Maybe just the woman you date.
Haha, I'm glad that you said that, lawyer, because no, it's not the women I've dated.
No, again, the general consensus is we as
I want a guy
women-
like Leo.
Yeah,
I
so
want
yeah.
a guy like this.
Really?
Yeah.
You see it on TikTok. They have these Reddit stories that people be reading
Yeah.
with women who
Yeah.
sleeping with the McDonald's guy.
I
And
guess I'm not on social media enough. Yeah, that
We're
is
not
that is
saying,
not my circle.
you're not on IG?
I'm on Instagram, but not on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, come, don't go on there.
Don't
The
go on
Chinese,
there.
that's propaganda for the Chinese. To
Yeah,
warp your brain.
please stay off it if there's
So-
anything that you could do.
That's not my circle. My circle is not people who are looking for the romance nonsense. People want, at least who I am mostly exposed to, people want somebody they can build with. People want security, and they want to be able to contribute to that security, and they want to be able to know that when they hit a certain age, they're going to be comfortable.
Understood. Yeah, so we really don't have that much time remaining.
There's
But-
always an hour and a half.
Yeah.
She gonna go back to Canada and like be like, sis.
Well, I'll let Krista here for the carnival.
Yeah, she here for the carnival. Donkey carters, hit 'em up.
Come true.
We gonna get 1 hour. They gonna get these peoples. Yeah, you have citizenship.
Yes.
Oh God, we getting this straight
It's
to
a green
Canada.
card involvement.
There's a green card with this red Douglas looking What's wrong with Douglas? We will talk about that one. You're racist.
Nothing wrong with Douglas, just not Douglas.
Oh yeah, see.
You're-
Any final words, Crystal?
No, everybody just be safe.
Are
Yeah.
you that somebody?
Condomize.
Yeah. Condomize.
Yeah, at least in the season of debauchery. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, just remember, she probably not gonna bully anyone, so don't waste it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Facts.
She's probably not gonna bully anyone. I'm here for a month, bro.
So, gentlemen, ladies,
That was hilarious.
do good every time. Good will follow. Be out.